type of data, we discussed all the things, right? Later on, we also discuss what is nominal scale, what is ordinal scale, and what is ratio scale, interval scale, and so on. After that, let's say we start with the first lesson, what is called the central tendency. And let me sharing the slide first of all. Thereafter, you have to move to explaining the whole things about it. Let's say central tendency. I have to sharing the things to you. I think it is visible to all of you.
Yes, yes.
That's right. Now, actually, the central tendency means to find a single figure which represents the entire mass of data. Okay, so to find a single figure, let for example, if you find in a particular company there are the 500 employees are there, and what is the average salary? So the average salary, you can finding out that the average salary, what is the term? It is nothing but the central tendency. Suppose we can say, let's say the average salary of all the employees will be 3,400. So that is a single figure which represents the entire mass of data, right? Entire mass of data, it will be representing the term what is called the central tendency. That means 3,525, let's say, for example. This is the individual person's salary. Similarly, if you take into account, let's say, what is the height of all the employees? What is the average height of all the employees? Then in that case also we can find, let's say, the 5.3 feet, or let's say 5.25 or something else. So that is the central figure. We find a single figure which represents the entire mass of data. And that is the general definitions of the term what is called the central tendency. Now the question to be arises to here, average provide us exists and gives a bird's eye view of the huge mass of on widely numerical data. That means আমি বর্তমানে যদি কহিলে গোটে কোম্পানি let's say 500 plus লোক অଛନ୍ତି তাଙ୍କର average salary কেতে. That means আমি যদি ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ individual salary পଚାরি চালিবা, it's very difficult to find the sum. Rather, if you take the average or the median salary or the highest salary or the lowest salary, it can easily representing the terms. So if you find the median salary, that is also the central figure. That means to find a single figure which represents the entire mass of data, that is the term what is called central tendency. Actually, why you have to study this one? Because while you calculating the term central tendency, it is describing the distribution in a concise manner, the entire distributions. Inside a class, let's say in a particular university, there's a 5,000 odd students will appear the exam of a particular branch. Then we can say how many got the first class, second class, and third class. Or you can find the term, let's say, who are the toppers are there of that particular batch. But how you are finding those things? So that is also the entire things, the entire people. Out of those, we find some extra terms from that particular term, batch of students, which represents the entire, the bulk of the students. That is the nothing but the central value. But the comparative study, it is also very required. Let's say this year, how many first, second, third? If you compare to the previous year, how many first, second, third? So central figure that represents in the term, how to comparing the terms also. For computing the various other statistical measure, okay, you know, to calculating the dispersion, skewness, kurtosis, or the correlation, or the regression, whatever the case may be, in every calculation, we require the term what is called the central value. So with the help of the central value, we can calculating the term skewness, we can calculating the term dispersions, we can calculate the term what is called the correlation or regressions also. So without knowing the term central value, we are unable to proceed ahead of it. Now, how to defining the term central tendency? Actually, the two common definitions which to be written to be here. The first one provided by Croston and Cowden. And according to Croston and Cowden, It is an average value. It's a single value within the range of the data that is to be used to represent all of the values in the series. I mean, in our example, inside the class or inside the university exam or inside the, I mean, a particular company's, I mean, the earning persons are there. So that means if you're taking into account the whole series, okay, since an average is somewhere within the range of the data, it is sometimes called as the measure of the central value. Why it is called the within the data? Because we know what is the maximum and the minimum salary of the entire, I mean, employee, which should be there inside the company. And the within that particular range, the value, central value must be there. Another definition is provided by Ball is that the average are the statistical its constants which enable us to compensate in a single effort for the significance of the whole. What I say, that is, it represents the entire mass of data. Same way, it is a Ball is defining it. What are the major terms are there for to calculating the term central tendency? Actually, there are the 5 different ways to measure the central tendency, like your arithmetic mean, or we known as the simply it's called as the mean, median, and mode, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. So these are the 5 measurements are there. We try to cover the faster because it is the very essential terms for the management courses or the any commerce students also with it. But the geometric mean and harmonic mean, we have to provide some brief idea about what is geometric mean and how to calculating harmonic mean also with the latter part of it. Let's start with the first bit, what is called the arithmetic mean. Actually, arithmetic mean, okay, out of those things, mark it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of this 3, right? The first 3 is to be that, let for example, the first one, I mean, arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. These are the quantitative measurements. When quantitatively we can calculating it. Quantitative measurement. And this too also with the quantitative measurement. Why? Because the data, if it is in terms of the ratio scale and or in the interval scale, this two type of data can be analyzed in term what is called the mean, geometric mean, or the harmonic mean. But for the median and mode, we can calculate the term the qualitative data. Qualitative data. I mean, here the data to be either in the nominal one or ordinal one. Okay, so nominal and ordinal data. But if you take the case of your quantitative, if the data in terms of the ratio or the interval, definitely you have to calculate the mean, either it is the geometric mean or harmonic mean. But if it is the nominal or the ordinal, then in that case we can calculate the term what is called the, I mean, median or the mode. So the qualitative is to be used for the median and mode, but the quantitative it is used for the arithmetic mean, geometric mean, and harmonic mean. Let's start with the first bit, what is called the arithmetic mean, or simply it's called the mean. Mean, it can be calculated or it can be defined as the addition of the individual observation divided by total number of observations. Let's say we can take the case, suppose in the there is to be given to you, let's say 5, 8, 10, 15, 24, and 28. The set of observations, the 6 persons having different type of marks. Let for example, exam to be takes place, different person obtain different type of marks. 6 people obtain first person, it obtain 5, second it will be 8, and so on. Then what is the average mark? How to calculating it? We just add all the individual observations divided by how many observations. So therefore, if we're adding it, thereafter dividing, we find the value of the mean is to be, let's say the 15. In general way, if you take the case that the xn number of observations, x1, x2, x3, and x4, like that way, xn observations. How many observations? There are n observations are there. And how to find the mean? We have to addition of the individual observations means addition of x1, x2, and xn. All terms to be added first and divide how many observations. Or in the simple manner, summation of x divided by n. Summation of x divided by n. This is the way to calculate for the individual observation. Individual observation means It is not, there is no repeated items are there. Mark it here, 5, 8, 10, 15, 24, 28, all are to be individual ways. There is no repetitive terms are there. If there is a repetitive had to be takes place, or that the large, huge amount of observations are given to you, instead of 6, it may be 600. Then in that case, you have to convert the data into a discrete series or a continuous series. So the continuous and discrete are the group frequency distributions. We have to distribute in the frequency distribution. Frequency in the sense repeated number of observations. Let's say the repeated number of observations are given, then how we have to calculating the term arithmetic mean. So let's say the repetitive observation. Suppose x1 obtain f1 times, x2 obtain f2 times, and so on. This is called the discrete series, right? So how to calculating the value of the mean? Now we have to just multiply the corresponding x with the frequencies. That means f1, x1, f2, x2, f3, x3, and so on. We have to multiplying all the observations, then adding it. Thereafter, we have find the formula x bar is nothing but summation of fx by n. And summation of f is the total number of frequencies. The total number of observations, that is the total number of observations, is nothing but the summation of frequency. If just add the frequency, how many frequencies that is the total number of observations, right? So what to do? We just multiplying the corresponding frequency with the variable and divided by total number of frequencies. Let's cite one example of it. It is given to you, let's say the following as the frequency distributions of the number of telephone calls received in 254 successive 1-minute intervals at an exchange. In the first line, we take into account the number of calls and the frequencies. If you take the 0 calls 14 times, 1 call 21 times, and 2 calls 25 times, and so on. Find the, it is given to you, obtain the mean number of calls per minute. So per minute, how many calls do we take place? Then what to do? We just multiply the frequency with the variable. That means this is your x1. If you take this is the x1, this is the f1. So f1, x1. Similarly, x2, f2. Just x3, f3. Like that way. We just multiplying it. So that means this column stand for the x, this column stand for the, row stand for the frequencies, and we have to multiply the frequencies with the variable. And that is the total multiplication. And adding that, it is nothing but the 922. And how many frequencies? This is the summation of frequency. If you add the frequencies, individual frequency 14, 21, 25, and so on, it is nothing but a 245. So that 245 to be divided by to 922. So we find on an average per minute call, in the next sense, it will take place 3.4, or approximately we can take into account the 4 number of calls we take place per minute. Right? So obtaining, because the question is asked to us, what is the average, the mean number of calls per minute. So what to do? We just dividing that one, and we find it is a 3.763. What number of call never becomes a fraction. Call is the whole number. Therefore, we have to convert approximately. We have to always write down approximately the 4 number of calls with it. Okay. Now moving to the term, what is called the group frequency distribution. Group frequency distribution means the variables are given. Your variable is to be given to you, like the, well, let's say 10 to 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, and so on. That is the x, let's say 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, like that, and so on. And side frequency is given to you. Let's say the 3, 2, 5, 4, like that part. So the total frequency is nothing but the total number of observations. If this type of data is given, that is called the continuous series. If it is a continuous series, then how to calculate the value of the mean? Now, first of all, we have to calculate the, deviation. So deviation, how we have to finding out the deviations? So deviation in the sense, before proceeding with the deviation, you first calculate the midpoint. What is the midpoint? Midpoint means the lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. If it is given to you 0 to 10, so what is the lower limit? Lower limit is 0, upper limit is 10. If it is given to 10 to 20, then is the lower limit is 10, upper limit is 20. Is the lower limit is 10, upper limit is 20, and so on, 20 to 30, and so on. Now, how to find the midpoint? Midpoint means lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2, means 0 plus 10 divided by 2, it becomes 5. 20 plus 10, 30, 30 divided by 2. Okay, that means it becomes 15. 20 plus 30, it becomes 50. 50 divided by 2, it will be 25, and so on. So that is called the midpoint. So from those midpoint, we have to calculate the deviations. Deviation means, that means we have to take, first of all, we here it is the x stands for the midpoint, right? And we have to take into account a. A is the assuming. A is the assuming. So we have to calculate in the assuming. We have to take any one. Let's say it is given to you 5, 15, 25, 30, 35, and 45. Like that way it is given to you. So you have to take into account any particular term. Any one you can take. You can take 25, you can take 15, 10. Choice is yours. You can take any one. And take that a midpoint minus assuming, or x minus a divided by class interval, or simply x minus a. If you take into account x minus a only or m minus a only, that is called as the deviation method. But if you do divided by class interval, this one, the class interval h, if it is divided by class interval, then it is called as the step deviation. Then it is called the step deviation. Okay. That means we can take into account this h is to be known as the step deviation. Either it will be class interval, you can take into account c, or you can take into I, you can take into account s class size, you can take into account, so it may be h, the class height. So different way we can take that part. Got the point? And how to calculate the value of the mean? The mean can be calculated like this: x bar that equal to a assuming plus h into f, that is the fd divided by n, or we can write the term x bar that equals to a plus some fd divided by n into h or I, like that way. Either you have to write down the I in the right side of it or in the top of it. You can write down here or you can write down here. Choice is you, because the multiplication to be expressed, right? Now, let's say we move to the example to finding it out. Right. Now, moving to the next page with that, let's say here. Okay, just a minute, I'll be erasing the term to be that. Okay, so here it is given to you that the calculate the mean of the following distributions. Data is given to you as midpoint. The marks are given 0, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, and so on. And the frequency is given to you, that is the number of students, 6, 5, 8, 15, 7, 6, and 3. Now the question to ask to you that calculate the value of the mean based on the discrete series formula or the step deviation. That means discrete formula in the sense deviation formula or the step deviation formula. The two way we are to calculating it. Okay. So let's start with the first calculations process. Midpoint, I mean, first it will be classes given to you. As I cited you, first we have to calculate the midpoints. Okay, lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2, that we have to calculating it. Then these are the frequencies are there. We have to take that, if you follow the term direct discrete method, that means fx by n. That means fx is to be calculated. Directly you can multiply the 5 into 6, 15 into 5, and so on. Adding together, it is a 1670. We apply the formula sum fx by n, and the outcome is 33.4. Right? But the same outcome we can calculate with the help of the step deviations also. What I say, we have to write down the deviation d. Midpoint minus assuming divided by class interval. I take into account the x is the midpoint, right? And 35, we take the any assuming to be that. Always take the assuming, which is the middle of the series, right? If it is odd, we can find a middle. If it is even, we don't have the middle of the series. We can take any one middle out of the middle too. We can take any one of it, right? And class difference, class height, that is the difference between the classes. That means 40, 50, 50, 60. Always there is the 10 differences. So therefore, you have to divide by 10, and we find the d. Thereafter, this particular column to be multiplied with the frequencies. That is the 6, 5, 8, and so on. Multiplying that, what we find, 6 into minus 3, it will be minus 18, and so on. We find it will be minus 8. Addition of this FD is to be minus 8. We follow the formula, A plus HFD divided by N. So that means A is to be 35, your H class interval is to be 10, and some FD is to be minus 8, divided by total frequency, it is 50. So while simplifying, we find again the result it be 33.4. Right?
How to
Are you
find
getting
A, sir?
A? You can take anyone. You can take the A as 35. I take into account A is 35. You can solve this problem by taking into account 25 or 55. Anyone we can take, but the outcome to be remain the same, that is 33.4. Okay.
Anyone can randomly take.
You can take anyone because therefore it is called the assume mean. Okay, assume mean
Okay.
you have to take it let. Mane kara je konsi gote uttar ko assume kariba. Okay.
Okay.
Now moving to next bit. Let's say these are the basic properties of the mathematical properties of your I mean arithmetic mean. The first property tells us the algebraic sum of the deviations given from the set of the observations of the mean is to be 0. That means sum of x minus x bar to be 0. If you take the, let's say, for example, x, if you take into account 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, tell me what is the mean of it? What is the mean? Mean kete hava? Addition kariba? 150 hala addition. So ketara observation asi 5. So outcome kete hala 30. Kine? Ami jodi sabutro minus kariba x minus x bar tab 30. Ami jodi subtract kariya kete minus 20. Right? Then 20 minus 30 is minus 10. Thereafter 30 minus 30 is to be 0, 40 minus this 10, this is to be 20. Okay. So when you're adding it, it becomes 0. So that is the property actually. So when mean ru subtract karibo, sabuwala pa 0 hi habo. Right? Then another property tells us, that is the third property. Some of the squares of the deviations from the mean must be list. It a through subtract kali. Subtract kali 32. Right? Mean है 30 से 32 subtract कले 0 बाहर पड़ला. Again, बर्तन मु कौन कहूची ना 30 तब तो scale line अच्छे. Let for example this is 30 and this is to be minus infinity. This is the plus infinity. So minus infinity plus infinity तो जब जे कौन सी number नहीं any number except 30. Except 30 तब जे कौन सी number नहीं ताको subtract करियो. Then तार square करियो because it is written in the square. Some of the squares of the deviation. तार तब square करियो. देखिबो सेई जो रिजल्ट बाहरिबो that is to be the minimum one. जदि हमें यार स्क्वायर करिबा x minus x bar स्क्वायर करा केता होचे minus 14 ला 400 10 रहला 100 0 0 10 is the 100 and 20 is be 400. So the outcome is to be 1000. Right? मु 30 रो सबट्रैक्ट करिकरी मु तार स्क्वायर करछि सेति पे जेटा 1000 होला. तमे 30 न नेई करी तमे जे कोनसी नंबर दियो minus 10 near, 0 near, 30 near, 40 near, 15 near, 17 near, minus 20 near, जहाँ भी near, अगर subtract करिवो, तार square करिवो, definitely तार जितना addition करिवा, it should provide you more than 1000. 1000 रो केबेले तलुको करी परिवो नहीं. Any number तुम subtract करो. Never it will be expressed. So that is the mathematical property. So while you take the deviation from the mean and the squaring it, it should be minimum. That is called the OLS, ordinary least square. So the least means minimum. The square must be least, right? And this is the second property tells us you the combined. You can find the combined mean. Let's say in a class there are some boys are there, some girls are there. There appear the exam that let's say 20 boys are there, 25 girls are there. They appear the exam and secure the mark. Mean mark of the boys is to be 35 and those are the girls to be 40. And tell me what is the combined mean of the entire class. In a class, there are some boys are there, some girls are there. Let's say the number of boys to be 20, number of girls to be 25. And the mean of the boys 35, mean of the girls to be 40. Tell me what is the combined mean of the entire class. So you need to calculate the combined mean of the entire class.
60.
So how to calculating it? Now n1 x1 bar. That means $40, 25 into 40. Okay, ताको addition करिबो numerator रहला particular net की. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's right. So n1 x1 bar plus n2 x2 bar divided by n1 plus n2. તમે તાકો multiply કરિવો, then n1 ହେଲା 20 કેતે 20, x1 bar ହେଲା 35, n2 ହେଲା 25, x2 bar ହେଲା 40, ତାକୁ multiply करिवो प्रथमे, then addition करिवो काहाको divided by addition करला ପରେ divided by n1 plus n2, n1 के 20 plus 25. Okay, so that's the way to calculating the combined mean of the entire class, right? Now, considering these sort of properties, we will follow to the some examples. Let's say here. Okay, examples are not given to you furthermore. Okay, now moving to the term, what is called the median. Median means what? What is the general meaning of the median? What is your कितने हिस्से के? 6.5 हिस्से. जिबियन सैंडविच जुगा. हाँ. छोटा कितने हिस्से? वर्तमान में हाँ? 7 10 रे जब बाहर वो 7 रे सॉरी 7 रे साधारण 10 में कॉल okay. Okay, let's say median. गोटे मिनिट जे लेखा उडा तो जाउनी गोटे सेकंड तक इरेज करिबा केनते मो स्टॉप शेयर करके आउ थरे स्टार्ट करू शेयर करिया पई जस्ट अ मिनिट. Okay, that's right. So I think it is visible to you people, please. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
That's great. Now I have to keep moving to here. Median. So actually median means the midmost item of the series. So how to calculate the value of the median? Before we calculate the value of the median, first of all, you have to divide the entire series into two equal parts. That means median means it divides the entire series into two equal parts. Half of the part lies above the median and half of the part lies below the median, right? So particularly median and mode, they are to be treated as the positional measure because it is not based upon each and every item of the series. Mean re kon kortla prati individual item ko ame dekhutile kintu median jetla ame naba मझिरे जो जिनसा केते नबा मोड जेते कैलकुलेट करिवा जो वेरिएबल टा अधिक थर अकर करथिबो दैट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ द मोड. दैट मींस इट डज नॉट डिपेंड अपॉन द ईच एंड एवरी आइटम द सीरीज सब आइटम ऊपर एटा डिपेंड करूनी सेति पई एडा कहा जे पोजिशनल मेजर. ओके, राइट नाउ क्वेश्चन टू अराइजेस हाउ यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द वैल्यू ऑफ द मीडियन. So in order to calculate the median, whether the individual observation or discrete series or continuous series, what the case may be, first of all हमें ताको कौन करिबा हमें ताको अरेंज करिबा either ascending रे अरेंज करिबा किंबा descending रे अरेंज करिबा. अरेंज करि सरला पर हमें median कैलकुलेट करिबा बुझ पाछटे. So how to calculate the value of the median? If it is, let's say for example, suppose we take into account the values let's say 3 5 9 2 let's say here I take into account 2 just not copy, yes 2 then 12. Okay, how many are there? 3 to 5. So ketera observation achi? 5 observation achi, yes or no? 5 observations are there. Now tell me what is the value of the median? मझिरे की अछि
9 5
मझिरे तमे कहला 9 अछि बोली. So is it so 9? देखो केन कैलकुलेशन हुए प्रथमे हमें कोन करिया ऑर्डर रे सजेइबा. लेट्स से मिनिमम इज टू बी 3.
Okay.
Thereafter it is 5. Okay, we take into account 5. Thereafter we take into account 9. Then we take the 12. बर्तन देखो मझिरे के रहला it is 5. So प्रथमे हमें अरेंज कला पर तार कैलकुलेट करिबा. So if it is the odd number, n ta ketela thila? N thila 5. If it is the odd number, n is 5. How to calculate the median? Now n plus 1 divided by 2th item. Okay, so n plus 1 n hala 5. So 5 plus of 1 hala 6. 6 by 2 ketela third. So third term to be treated as the median. So median becomes 5. Then you have median can calculate korche. Suppose I would series is 3 10 12 8 7 6, right? ताले एटी केंद्र कैलकुलेट करिए मीडियन मत को मीडियन केते हबो को ओके अरेंज करो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अरेंज करो 3 thereafter 6
7 over.
7.5.
7,
okay
7.
after that it is 8 then 10 then 12 ठीक
10,
अछि
12.
वर्तमान केतेरा आइटम हला n हला केते ना 6 नंबर साथे एठी थिला ऑड नंबर बोली n + 1/2 कर देउतले किंतु जते इवन नंबर आसी जाउची इवन नंबर वे जते करबा 6/2 केते होची कि इट इज थर्ड नंबर so third number is not so actually the third and fourth these are the middle number
By 2.
even number रे दीटा middle number बारिबो odd रे गोटे middle number बारतला so median एटी केन कैलकुलेट करे median केन कैलकुलेट करबा ना n/2th item plus next item divided by 2 that means average of the two middle term that means the 7 plus 8 divided by 2 is nothing but the 7.5 so that is the way to calculate the value of the median. First, we have to arranging it and judge whether it is it is a number of observation is odd or even. On the basis of that, we have to calculate the value of the median. Let's say moving to the examples.
Sir,
हाँ जी.
sir, arrange the ascending order or descending order both रे भी कर देबो
Any नहीं तमे ascending करो descending करो किसी असुविधा नहीं. सेम रिजल्ट दबो बुझिले
yes sir
ओके किंतु मन रखिता सब बेले पई जेतला हम मीडियन कैलकुलेट करछे असेंडिंग करिया डिसेंडिंग करिया चलिबो ठीक अछि किंतु मन रखिता आउरी पोजिशनल मेजर अछि लाइक क्वार्टाइल अछि डिसाइल अछि परसेंटाइल अछि सेही केस रे हमें भी एई एक्जेक्टली सेम टाइप ऑफ फॉर्मूला फॉलो करिया किंतु सेठी असेंडिंग करिया पडियो डिसेंडिंग आ सेठी हेले हबो नाही
Okay.
असुविधा हबो बुझि पजोटी सो सेति पई सब बेले पई असेंडिंग मन रखितो असेंडिंग सबोटी एप्लीकेबल ओके now comes to the examples for the ungrouped data in this particular case in the first example it is the first you have to arranging the data to be arranged that you have to remember ascending or the descending order then if it is the odd number how to calculate the median I mean let's say these are the items are there how many items 3 to 5 items are there first we are arranging it and the middle one we have to take as the median because 5 plus 1 5 plus 1 is 6/2 is the third term. So third term it will be treated as the median. 1, 2, 3, third is the 35, right? But if the even number, then we have to get the two middle numbers are there. We have to take the average of the two middle number, right? Here, what we find, the data is to be given to you. This is already arranged. Now it is the 6 numbers are there. We have to take the average of the 35 and 40. So therefore, it is the 37.5. Got it? So that is the way to calculate the value of the median in case of your individual observation, or it is called the ungrouped data. Now, if it is this is the way it is written that how to calculating it. But the point is that if it is the frequency, suppose it is a group frequency distribution, suppose it is a discrete series, then in that case, discrete series, how to calculating the value of the median. Suppose let for example, suppose x is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. ठीक है frequency देइछि 3 7 8 2 5 जानियला वर्तमान यार मीडियन केंति कैलकुलेट करबा अरेंज हेजि ना नै जाना फर्स्ट इट इज ऑलरेडी अरेंज्ड
Arranged.
ओके अरेंज एठी कोन करियो प्रथमे क्युमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी कैलकुलेट करियो क्युमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी कोन ना सक्सेसिव फ्रीक्वेंसी को मिसेइबा 3 3 plus 7 is 10 10 plus 8 is 18 18 plus 12 is 20 20 plus 5 is 25 right then हमें फॉर्मूला जानि छे मीडियन कैलकुलेट करिया केंति ना n/2th item n/2th item और नेक्स्ट टर्म काई कहौ जे नेक्स्ट टर्म ना देखो n/2 जला हमें करू छे n केते अछि n हला 25 so 25/2 जतला हमें करू छे 25/2 केते अछि 12.5 किंतु 12.5 क्युमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी अछि की 12.5 नाही हमें तार नेक्स्ट नंबर टा नबा नेक्स्ट और नेक्स्ट लिखले n/2th item और नेक्स्ट मींस कता n/2 हला 12.5 नाही 10 अछि 12.5 सेटा मझी नाही छडी तापरे 18 अछि सो सेति पय हमें कहबा 18 नबा ता साइड रे सीधा रे जो वेरिएबल थिबो दैट इज कॉल्ड द मीडियन सो मीडियन इक्वल्स टू 30 जानियला केन कैलकुलेट करे प्रथमे CF कैलकुलेट करिवो CF कैलकुलेट कला परे n by 2 calculate करिवो n by 2 जो आइटम टा आसला देखिवो क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी भितर से नंबर टा अछि ना नाही जदी अछि इट्स ओके जदी नाही तार नेक्स्ट हाईएस्ट नंबर टा नबो एठी नाही 12.5 is not there therefore you have to take the next highest number that is the 18 सीधारे जो नंबर टा अछि variable that is called the median. Okay, got the point? Now move to the continuous series. If it is a continuous series, then how to calculate the value of the median? Let's say these things are given, but instead of this formula, we can take the another formula to be that the same thing, but in the written in the separate process. Median can be written.
सर देखिए
हाँ,
प्रीवियस
कौन?
स्लाइड देखिए सर प्रीवियस स्लाइड
हाँ।
देखिए
हाँ it's okay.
थैंक यू सर
Okay, then got a minute. It's end it. No. Cancel. Okay. It's okay. Now move to the next. Suppose median. How to calculate the median into the continuous series? Median equals to L plus n by 2 minus CF by F into I. Either it is जो formula लिखा है ताको नीचे follow करो. Otherwise यही formula को देखो. Meaning same. एठी n by 2 लिखिला minus c लिखिला आमी ताको CF लिखिले divided by F अछि into I H लिखा है आमी ताको I करछे. किछ असुविधा नहीं केमिति कैलकुलेशन करछे मत होछ देखो. Suppose गोटे एग्जांपल नै छै 10 20 20 to 30 30 to 40 40 to 50 and 50 to 60, right? Corresponding frequency देछि केते ना 3 6 4 7 and 5 केते हला टोटल it is 25, right? Cumulative frequency calculate करा 3 9 plus 4 is to be 13 plus 7 is to be 20 plus 5 is to be 25. Cumulative frequency formula. Then हमें कौन जानी चाहिए ना n by 2 हमें calculate करिए. Where is the n by 2? Mark it n by 2 12.5 is there in the cumulative frequency. No, it is not there. Next has k 13. So 13 सीधा रेखीय अच्छे ना 30 to 40. So that means inside the 30 to 40 median value to be lies. Median value lie in the class 30 to 40. Okay. Now after knowing that the median value to be lies in the class 30 to 40. So what is the lower limit? It class with a 30 to 40 lower limit ke 30. So L is 30. Okay. Plus n by 2 kete achi na 12.5 minus CF cumulative frequency सबल नंबर preceding to the median class. Median class tala third class tala tara uporo class tara cumulative frequency that is the 9 preceding the median class divided by class frequency kete achi it is to be 4 multiplied by class interval 30 40 ra difference kete na it is the difference it will be 10. ठीक আছে बर्तन सॉल्व करो 30 प्लस ऑफ 12.5 रो 9 गले केते हेबो 12.5 minus 9 केते होजी 3.5. okay 3.5 divided by 4 into 10. so what is the outcome 30 एठी हला केते 35 3.5 into 10 हला 35. so 35 divided by 4 then the outcome is to be this is 8. If you cancel this one, it is 8.
8.7.
Okay, 8.75. Then it is the 38.75. So we can calculate the value of the median is 38.75, but that value, mark it, 38.75 will lies in between 30 to 40. That is the concept of the median. It will always lies inside the median class. যদি calculation ভুল থিবো या উপরକୁ যদি পড়াইলে তাহলে তোমার calculation কোডি ভুল আছে. How to calculate the value of the median in case of an individual series, discrete series, and continuous series. I mean, continuous series. This is the example of the discrete series, and these are the examples of your individual observations. Got it? Now, let's say start with some question to you people. Mark it here. It is a question, but question find the median. Median calculate kara. तापरे आउट जिनस पचारछि why the median is more suitable measure of the central tendency than the mean in this particular case. एठी कोन देछि age देछि age below देछि and the person देछि in terms of thousands, right? So मार्क कर एठी जो क्लास गुडी को देछि हमें प्रीवियस जो हमें एग्जांपल नहीं थिले सेठी लोअर लिमिट अपर लिमिट थिला तार साइड रे जोडा फ्रीक्वेंसी लेखा था दैट इज फ्रीक्वेंसी बट इन दिस केस एठी हैव अ क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी देछि बुझिला 2 5 9 12 जोडा देछि दैट इज द क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसीज काहे कि ना एटा लेखा है जे एज बिलो 10 माने 0 टू 10 तापर लेखा बिलो 20 मींस इट इज टू बी 0 टू 20 जदि 0 टू 10 हैला 2 0 टू 20 हैला 5 ताले 10 टू 20 हो केते हबो 10 टू 20 केते हबो हमर देला बिलो 10
3
हां दैट्स राइट बिलो 10 हैला 2 below 20 when let's say below in the sense let's say the class difference is 10 I mean कहबा 0 so 0 to 10 is 2 then 0 to 20 is 5 किंतु हमें जानि जे 0 to 10 is 2 तले 10 to 20 केते हबो ना माइनस कर दबा 5 minus 2 हला 3 so एमिति सबुडा हमें फ्रीक्वेंसी कैलकुलेट करिबा हमर एटी देखा प्रथम स्टेप हला तमे फ्रीक्वेंसी सब कैलकुलेट करिवो राइट प्रति फ्रीक्वेंसी कैलकुलेट कर साला परे तुमको आउ थरे क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी कैलकुलेट करिवो बुझियला so this is the total number of observation and this is the cumulative frequency तापरे हम जेमिति कैलकुलेट करथिले एक्चुअली सेम मैनर जिबा केते अछि 15.6 डिवाइडेड बाय 2 केते ला ना 7.8 cumulative frequency देखिबो 7.8 अछि ना नाही 7.8 नाही हम कोन करबा 9 नबा ताले मीडियन क्लास का भीतर रहइबो 20 रो 30 भीतर रहइबो ताले लेखिया फॉर्मूला 20 हैला लोअर लिमिट 10 है class interval 4 है that is the frequency and 7 point है n by 2 CF है cumulative frequency of the preceding class that is 5 right ताको simplify कले median वाला कितने ना 27 so the hence the median age is to be 27 किंतु तोले आ गोटे क्वेश्चन पचार थिला why the median is more suitable measure than central tendency in this particular case actually in this case the median is more suitable measure of the central tendency mean why it is because the last class that is the 70 and above okay is an opponent class जेतले opponent class थिबो हमें कोन जानते मीन जानथिले मीन कोन करथांते प्रति क्लास रे में मल्टीप्लाई करथांते हमें कोन करथला ओवर 70 ओवर माने हम कोन 80 हमें नै जिबा एटाको हमें एटा को 80 नै कैलकुलेट करिबा बुझि बालडी किंतु हमें 80 नै कैलकुलेट करथला माने हमें अज्यूम कले एक रे सेकंड नंबर ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंसी देखा फ्रीक्वेंसी केते अछि 15.6 केबेले फ्रीक्वेंसी 15.7 0.1 0.5 में हबनी फ्रीक्वेंसी कोन रिपीटेड ऑब्जर्वेशन सबले होल नंबर रब किंतु होल नंबर आसिया पई हेले दैट इज द डिस्क्रीट सीरीज अछि दैट इज द डिस्क्रीट नंबर्स आर देयर सो होल नंबर न हले जति होल नंबर हबो हमें मीन कैलकुलेट करिबा जति होल नंबर नथिबो ताले हमें सब मीडियन कैलकुलेट करिबा किबा मोड कैलकुलेट करिबा राइट सो तमे मार्क करथिबो केते क्वेश्चन पचारथिबो फाइंड द अप्रोप्रिएट मीन और द फाइंड द अप्रोप्रिएट वैल्यू ऑफ द सेंट्रल फाइंड द अप्रोप्रिएट सेंट्रल वैल्यू ऑफ द गिवन डेटा सो जो डेटा देथिबो तार अप्रोप्रिएट सेंट्रल वैल्यू आ करिया पे तुमको सेठी जनिया पडिबो डाटाटा कोन देछि क्वालिटेटिव देछि कि क्वांटिटेटिव देछि ओपोनेंट देछि कि क्लोजेंट देछि तार ताकोई बेस करी तमे कैलकुलेट करिवो whether we have to applying the value of the mean median or mode okay similarly take another example एठी देखो गोटे क्वेश्चन देछि in this particular question expenditure is given but number of families is there gote number of family missing अछि dita family missing अछि 20 to 40 gote missing अछि आ गोटे अछि म्यूट करा कि
स्वीकार
kindly mute it hello अरे बाबा केस
सर
तांको कोटे म्यूट करिया पई
ଆପଣ ମ୍ୟୁଟ କରିପାରିବେ ସେ
ଜାଣିବେ କିଏ
ସେ ଦେଖା ଯାଉ ସାର୍
ଦେଖା ଯାଉଛି
ईश्वर
राइट जमा पे कोठी जिबे
ଅଭଦ୍ର
शांति जे ओके म्यूट हो गला ओके ठीक है हाँ I have to start once again कारण म्यूट न कले आम प्रॉब्लम हो ना राइट आम थे मीडियन लास्ट राइट so let's say this thing's already over this is the questions where we are now in this particular case so that the two class in the frequencies are missing 20 to 40 is missing and 60 to 80 is missing question was that find the missing frequencies किंतु से दे दीजिए हमको median value दे दीजिए and total number of observation दे दीजिए total observation 100 so जो दिटा हमर मिसिंग अछि हमें ताको गोटे नै जिबा आइदर ए बी नबा x1 x y नै जिबा हमें नै जे f1 f2 हमको सब तक मिसै देले होची 100 राइट जेते हमें 100 होची हमको एटा को f1 और f2 नै जेमति कैलकुलेट करले क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी करिया 14 plus f1 27 plus 14 41 plus f1 then 41 plus f1 plus f2 then 56 plus f1 plus f2 okay ये जो 56 plus f1 plus f2 that is nothing but the 100 ताले f1 plus f2 के थे गला ना f1 plus f2 it becomes 100 minus 56 is 44 right so f1 of f2 addition है 44 this is one equation we got it ठीक है then आउ गोटे देछि हमको मीडियन वैल्यू दे दीजिए 50 so मीडियन फार्मूला में यूज करे मीडियन दे दीजिए 50 माने को क्लास भीतर रहइबो 50 टा कोडी या भीतर रही so 40 to 60 भीतर रहइबो मीडियन तार फ्रीक्वेंसी एटा लोअर लिमिट हला 40 एंड क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी रा केते 14 प्लस f1 ताको ही नै कि हमें फार्मूला रे पकेबा राइट हमें तो फार्मूला रे पको छे ताको सिंपलीफिकेशन कले हमें आउ गोटे वैल्यू भाई जाउ छे लेट्स से वी गॉट द टर्म f1 वैल्यू डायरेक्टली हमें कैलकुलेट करि परछे so what is the value of the f1 is to be 23 okay I mean simplify kala pare f1 वाला 23 जदि f1 plus f2 वाला 44 f1 is 23 then what is the value of f2 becomes 21 okay so हमें easily calculate करिबा but केमिति calculate कोच so जणो को either x y नियो किबा a b नियो किबा x y नियो choice is your or f1 f2 नियो then आपको एडिशन करो cumulative frequency नियो cumulative frequency नला परे हम जानि छी मीडियन वैल्यू देई देई छी 50 हम जे मीडियन वैल्यू देई 50 टा का भीतर रहइबो ना 40 to 60 भीतर रहइबो 50 या भीतर रह जाउची लोअर लिमिट हला 40 फ्रीक्वेंसी हला 27 एंड क्यूमुलेटिव फ्रीक्वेंसी हला 14 प्लस f1 से सब जिंस नै कि हमें पकेला परे हमें बाहरी कर लेते f1 is 23 if we know f1 plus f2 equal to 44 if f1 is 23 obviously f2 becomes 21 Daniela so that is the way to calculating the value of the median बुझी परछो ना नहीं के बुझी होजी ता
हाँ
नहीं
सर
सर ये
हाँ।
प्रॉब्लम हो सर बुझिया को आपण जो पीपीटी रे बुझौचंती किसी सर
हाँ।
डिजिटल बोर्ड रे टिके बुझे बने सर राइट डाउन करे कि सर
करी हबो किछ असुविधा नहीं किंतु एते तो लिखु छी किछ एते डिफिकल्ट किछ आसु छी के एते
हां सर टिके पीपीटी रे बुझिया पे डिफिकल्ट अपन डायरेक्ट जदी उठ लिखि के बुझाते सेरा टिके बेटर होंदा सर
बट टाइम कंज्यूमिंग है तो सेति एटा मु कहै छी कारण 10टा
हम
क्लास रे तो प्रबल
प्रॉब्लम सर गोटे प्रॉब्लम पूरा व्हाइट बोर्ड रे टिके करे देबे गोटे हम कंप्लीट हे जियो सर
हां मु तो एग्जांपल देइथिली ना देखो ना एटा मु करले कि नहीं ए सब जिंस एग्जांपल करले ना नहीं
आज्ञा
एटा तो एटा व्हाइट बोर्ड रे लिखिया था मु एट लिखि देले असुविधा कोन होची बुझी होची एवडा बुझी हेतला नहीं
हां बुझी तो होची सर
नहीं ए
टिके
जो मार्क कर
गोटे
वर्तमान जो स्लाइड रे देखै छी मु एग्जांपल नैथिली 10 20 20 30 40 जो लिखि की देखै छी ए जिंस तो लिखि दंती ना
बुझी होची सर एवडा
हां मु ए जिंस तो लिखि दंती
आज्ञा
बट इंस्टेड ऑफ ताको व्हाइट बोर्ड बाहागर फोन एपटे दियो दी टांग स्क्रीन को शेयर कर इट इज डिफिकल्ट हो ना
आज्ञा
ओके तो टाइम के सेव करे
किंतु मोर गोटे रिक्वेस्ट रहउसे टिके गोटे व्हाइट बोर्ड गोटे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम अपन दे सॉल्व करी देखिए टिके बड़ा भलो हो सर
হবে
ହଉ ସବୁ
ঠিক আছে କିଛି
ପ୍ରତି
ଠିକ ଅଛି କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ହ୍ୱାଇଟ ବୋର୍ଡ
ଆଜ୍ଞା,
କଣ ମୁଁ ଏଇଠି ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ଲାଙ୍କ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ କରିଦେବି ଦେଖିବି ଆଉ କଣ ହେଲା
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ହ୍ୱାଇଟ ବୋର୍ଡ ସହିତ କିଛି ମାନେ ହ୍ୱାଇଟ ବୋର୍ଡ ମତେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ନିଜେ ଲେଖିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ପୁଣି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆଉ ତମେ ଲେଖିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ତମକୁ ଦ୍ୟାଟ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଇଜ ଦ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟିଜ ନା କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଠି ଅଲରେଡି ଗୋଟେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଅଛି ମୁଁ ସେଇ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ କୁ କେମିତି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ସଲ୍ଭ କରୁଛି ମୁଁ ଦେଖେଇ ଦଉଛି ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଜ ଦ ଇଜିଏଷ୍ଟ ଫର ୟୁ ତମେ ସେଇଟାକୁ ମାନେ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ତମକୁ ରିକଲ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ ଗୋଟେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଦିଆ ହେଇଛି ସେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ କୁ କେମିତି ଆମେ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡେଲ କରୁଛେ ଏଠି ଯଦି ଦେଖେଇଥିଲା ବିଲୋରେ ଲେଖା ହେଇଥିଲା ତ ସେ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ କୁ କେମିତି ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡେଲ କରିବ ମୁଁ ଯଦି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖିବି ଏଠି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖିବା ପାଇଁ 2-3 ମିନିଟ୍ ପଳେଇବ ହେଲା କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖିବା ପାଇଁ 2-3 ମିନିଟ୍ କିମ୍ବା ମୁଁ ଡିକ୍ଟେଟ୍ କଲେ ତ ହବନି କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଏତେ ପିଲା ବସିଛ ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ ଡିକ୍ଟେଟ୍ କଲେ ଇଟ୍ସ ନଟ୍ ପସିବଲ୍ ଆଟ୍ ଅଲ୍ ଦେନ୍ କୋଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଲେଖିବା ପାଇଁ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟିଜ୍ ଦେନ୍ ସଲ୍ୟୁସନ ପାର୍ଟନଟା କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ମୁଁ ଏଠି ପୁରା ଦେଖେଇ ଦଉଛି କେମିତି କାହା ଉପରେ କଣ କରାହଉଛି
ଆପଣ ଏମିତି ବି କରିପାରିବେ ସାର୍ ସବୁ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ରିପିଟ ରେ ବୁଝେଇବା ଅପେକ୍ଷା ଗୋଟେ ବଡ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ଯୋଉଥିରେ କି ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର ସଲ୍ଭ
ନାଇଁ
ହେଇପାରୁଥିବ
it is
ସେମିତି
not
ଗୋଟେ
possible you
ବୁଝେଇଦେଲେ
can't
ହେଇଯିବ
find you
ସାର୍
can in statistics is not possible ଏଇ ଯୋଉ median ର thousands of
ଓକେ
different
ଓକେ
varieties of problems are
ୟେସ୍
there
ସାର୍
it's not possible within one
ଓକେ
problem you have to solve all the things it's not quite impossible
ଓକେ ଓକେ ସାର୍
okay
ଫାଇନ୍
ତମେ statistics first time ପଢୁଛ ନା plus 2 ରୁ ପଢି ପଢି ଆସିଛ ଯଦି plus 2 ରୁ ପଢି ପଢି
ନାଇଁ ସାର୍
ଆସିଥାନ୍ତା ଏଇ
ପଢିକି
question ମତେ କେବେ ଏବେ ଏଇ question କେବେ ହେଲେ ପଚାରି ନଥାନ୍ତା କାହିଁକି ତମେ ଦେଖିବ median ରେ ତମେ different variety जो क्वेश्चन आते एटी लिखा है बिलो लिखा है मु एबव देबी किछि क्वेश्चन
ଆଜ୍ଞା
बिलो लिखा है किछि क्वेश्चन एबव लिखा है मिक्स करी देबी जो सब तक फ्रीक्वेंसी देथिबी केतेटा फ्रीक्वेंसी मिसिंग कर देथिबी कोठी लोअर लिमिट देथिबी फास्ट रे मझरे बिलो बिलो लिखिथिबी पुनी तापरे एबव लिखिथिबी सब क्वेश्चन को हैंडल करी होबनी गोटे क्वेश्चन जगह रे इट्स
ଠିକ
क्वाइट
ଠିକ
इम्पॉसिबल
ଅଛି
ଜାଣିଲା हां तमे
ଓକେ
क्वेश्चन पचारा तम क्वेश्चन देखा मु से क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करिवे दैट इज पॉसिबल
ଠିକ
Okay,
ଅଛି
you can bring down the question to for me, then I can solve it for you. No problem at all.
ଓକେ ସାର୍ ଫାଇନ୍
Right? Because I have to take into account because within 10 classes we have to wind up the whole things. It's quite impossible to impossible. Still, then I have to moving fast.
ଓକେ
Then this thing is there. So I think this is all about the median. Now come down to the mode. I don't think so I have to complete the whole concept of the mode today. Still, then I have to try to wind up the things. So the mode means the most frequently observed in a particular series. Mode is a calculate procedure. Who value ta sabutaru adhika thara achi, that is called the mode. Let's say in a particular class that the 10 students are there, they secure different marks like let's say 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 40, right? And then again 15, 30, and 25, 15. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 students achandi. Mate kuha mode kete haba. What is the value of the mode? What is the value of the mode? Quickly do it. Mode kete?
15
50.
15 15 15
15. That's right. 15 is the 15. That's right. Absolutely right. So mode equal to 15. So how to find? Just observing it. Okay, there is no formula for that. You just observe which particular variable occur maximum time. Which occur to be maximum time? 15 occur the maximum time 1, 2, and 3 times, whereas the other numbers occur only once. That is therefore the 15 to be treated as the mode. That is the individual way to calculating it. Let's say, for example, the discrete series. If it is a 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, let's say 40 and 50, and corresponding frequencies to be 3, 7, 8, 2, and 5. Tell me what is the value of the mode? Mode equal to how much? Mode equal to how much?
20.
Mode equal
30.
mode 30, not 20.
Yes, sir.
Because
8 time of the frequency.
maximum occurrence is the 8. Corresponding variable is be 30. So that means which particular variable occur maximum times, that is called the value of the mode. Okay.
Yes.
But in case of a continuous series, let's say x is given to you 10, 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and 50 to 60. Okay. And corresponding frequencies are given to you. Let's say the 3, 7, 8, 2, and 5. So what is the value of the mode? 80 mode ke
30 to 40.
That means modal value, we can find the modal class. I mean modal class बाहर कर देले. Modal value टा 30 to 40 भीतर रहिबो. कि नहीं? किंतु mode value केते हबो? ताको जानिया पाई हेले we have to follow one formula, that is the mode equals to L plus delta 1 divided by delta 1 plus delta 2 into I. ये formula को हम follow करिया. But what is the value of the delta 1? Now delta 1 is nothing but delta 1 ମୁଁ ଏଠି ଲେଖି ଦଉଛି. Delta 1 is nothing but f1 minus f0. କୋଉଟା f1 ନା ଯୋଉଟା highest frequency ହେଲା f1, ତା ପୂର୍ବଟା ହେଲା f0, ତା ପରଟା ହେଲା f2. So preceding frequency ହେଲା 7, succeeding frequency ହେଲା 2 and modal frequency ହେଲା 8. And delta 2 can be calculated as the f2 minus f1. Or you can take it to the f1 minus f2. f1 minus f2. So delta 1 केते हबो ना 8 minus 7 हला 1. Lower limit केते first of all 30. Delta 1 केते होची ना 8 minus 7 हला 1. And delta 2 केते हबो 8 minus 2. That is your 6. And class difference केते होची ना 10. आको simplify करिबा. That is the 30 plus of 10 divided by 7. I mean it is the 31 point, how much? 31 point कितना होची? 4, right? 31.4. The value of the mode equals to 31.4. Got it?
Yes,
So that is the way to calculate the value of the mode in case of your continuous series. And we take into account certain formulas to be here, mark it here. We can calculate the value of mode like this way. Of what I said to you, that the delta 1 means f1 minus f0 and delta 2 means f2 minus f1 or f1 minus f2, whatever the case may be. Okay. And let's say if you're moving to the term, suppose if there is a frequencies at the 2 to 3 frequencies will occur. Let's say here 8 is given. Let's say the 2 to 3 times the 8 is given. In the continuous series also be maximum occurrence will be 2 to 3 times. If it is the 2, then it is called the bimodal. If it is 3, it is called the multimodal. So more than highest frequency there, then it is called the multimodal or the bimodal. So how to calculate the mode in case of your bimodal or the multimodal? Then in that case, we have to using a particular formula that is called the 3 median minus 2 mean. The mode can be calculated with the value of the term, what is called the 3 median minus 2 mean. This is the formula to be calculating. That means in that case, you have to find the value of the median as well as the value of the mean. Then you have to putting it, the value of the mode equals to 3 median minus 2 mean. But the point is, if the data is given to your symmetrical distribution, then in that case, straight we can finding it out. If it is not a symmetrical, if it is a skewed one, either the left skewed or to be right skewed to be that, in those cases, we have to using the term mode in with the help of your what that is called the symmetrical distribution, or in case of your bimodal or the multimodal case, right? Coming class with the example. Okay, so that's all for today.